Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to do a video unboxing these Active AutoWork catless headers. Shout out to Tuner Motorsports for hooking me up with these headers. I ordered them on Monday and they were already here on Thursday, and they were also able to hook me up with a free shirt. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in. So these are the Active AutoWork catless headers, completely unboxed. I am super impressed with the quality and I cannot wait to get these installed. They came with all the new hardware that I'm gonna need. So I got new nuts, I got new gaskets, they came with everything. I can go ahead and show you guys kind of what came in the packing slip. So I got the headers, obviously. I got new manifold gaskets, new locking nuts, gasket for the header to catalyst, gasket for the EGR valve, the air pump, and then they also gave me some pretty cool stickers. So basically, I will catch up with you guys whenever we're in the garage getting ready to install these. All right, guys, so we're back. It's been about a week since I unboxed the headers, and we're going to get started on installing them, and I'm going to take you guys through that. So we're going to start by taking off the subframe brace there, and then we're going to take off this coolant reservoir. We have to disconnect the hose here and down there. Along with that, we're also going to take out the secondary air pump and the valve that goes into the side of the block right there. Now I'm just going to set up a time lapse, and then whenever we run into some issues, I'll get back with you guys.
Okay, so first issue we ran into is this little clamp. It's not really removable, so I'm not sure if we're going to cut it off or if we're going to try to bend this little tab out. I'll get back to you. Messing with that, I just went to the other side, pulled up on this little release, and then yanked her out. And now I don't have to worry about that over there. One thing not to forget, this ground loop.
The coolant reservoir out along with the secondary air pump. This sensor is going to be right under the coolant reservoir, and then you have this sensor underneath the secondary air pump. So then now we're going to get the valve off, and I took off the cabin air filter and all that housing, and I'm going to take off the valve cover thing, my Bob.
There you go.
The secondary air pump valve. And it looks like on this one, just like the other one, the stud just comes out here, right here. So it's not a huge deal if it comes out, because we're just going to tighten it back down whenever we put it in. So the stud came out on both, so it actually kind of makes it a little bit easier. We do have a new gasket for this, but I will be deleting this whenever I get my tune.
Okay, so this is actually really annoying to do. So what we did is there's a heat shield on the stock headers. This was actually very annoying to get off. It was the 3 12 mils and then the 10 mil, and then you had the valve on top that were removed. The wires get pinched into here. So you have to reach your arm around there really awkwardly, bend that tab back, pull all the wires back, and then you shift it backwards and then lift up and pull it out like this.
Actually, Continental Extremes.
Alright, so we are just going through and soaking everything in WD-40. Actually, you should probably watch out for that valve and not get it in there. We don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing, but probably not the best idea. We're also going to get the car in the air and start working underneath.
Alright, so we are in the middle of getting the nuts out to get the headers. We have everything laid out up here. I had to take off this, we had to take off this shield. We had to take off the splash shield, so that gives you a lot more room under there. Alright, so we have the first set of headers completely unbolted there. We kind of got lucky and only 2 studs came out. Not a huge deal. We're just happy I didn't break any in there. Well, he didn't break any in there because he totally took all those out. And so now we're going to start on the second set.
The trick here is to have 2 3/8 wobbles. And just using a combination with short extension. Very important.
All right, just a quick update where we're at. So we got everything off. And we are going through and just cleaning around there before we put the new gaskets on. And we got everything laid out up here. We just have to put these studs back in. These are the only ones. Plus, actually this one also came out, but we were able to get the nut off of it, so we just started it. Then we're going to torque them down. And just a heads up for these gaskets right here, because it took me forever to figure out which way they go, because we totally forgot when we took them off, because it's been like 12 hours. They go shiny side to the engine, paper side to the headers. Okay, so we finished doing those headers, and I completely forgot to video the rest. So I'm basically just gonna go through everything that we finished up. It was already towards the end. We had the headers off and everything for you guys. So I'm just going to open up here and pop the hood and kind of show you guys what we did. Okay, so you guys saw us take this stuff off. We just replaced it the same way we took it off. We got the 2 bolts up here, popped it back into place, filled it up with coolant, bled the system. That went on easy right there. Cleaned everything up a little bit. You know, you got these bolts up here for your cover right here. All that stuff is super basic. You guys saw us take that off. What we did is I put the secondary air pump completely back together. But when we were doing that, this hose is super brittle because it's just plastic and, you know, it's heating up and cooling off and everything. So it ended up cracking right down there. I can't really see it. But I put some electrical tape down there, and clearly it just burned off. I'm going to grab a flashlight so then you guys can see a little bit better. Okay, so right down there is what I was talking about with that electrical tape. Not a huge deal. All right, so then we got the headers back in. I didn't put that heat shield on, honestly, just because I wanted to be able to see the headers still. So, I mean, it's probably better if you put it back on, because obviously these get really hot. But, I mean, hey, now whenever you open the engine bay, you can't even notice it still because they're completely hidden, but it's okay. So we got everything back on. O2 sensors were a huge pain to get off, so what I did was I used a torch, heated it up, and we were able to get those loose. You can see we just have the little bolts in for the rear, so those like don't, I didn't put the rear O2s even in. And then we also have, I'm not sure what that other part is connected to the headers. If someone wants to enlighten me a little bit, but that was screwed in. Everything went super smooth. We were able to get them back in, tighten them down. And then since then, I have also gotten my tune. And if you guys follow me on Instagram, I kind of did a little, put it on my story and basically explained what I was doing. I didn't really video it. I mean, obviously you can tell I'm not very good at this so far. But if you guys do have any questions, please reach out to me on my Instagram. I'll put the my username probably on the screen somewhere if I can figure out how to do that. We don't know. That's really, I do a lot of like little videos on my Instagram story, and I kind of feel like that'll be easier to kind of keep track of everything that I did. I'm also going to post this link for my YouTube on my Instagram, so you guys can kind of cross through there. But like I said, if you guys have any questions, reach out to me. I'll gladly be able to answer them. Overall, it was pretty easy, as long as you really have those extensions and everything. Super important. Those wobbles, we really use those a lot. Just take your time. You don't want to rush it, because then that's whenever you break studs and everything like that. So overall, it wasn't too bad, other than it's kind of tight where everything is. But I mean, it is what it is, and we were able to get it. And maybe I will go and do a little bit of a video on what I did with my tune. A little bit about the tune that I got. It's the Build Journal B-Spec tune. If this video does well, then I'll go ahead and make that short video about how I did the tune, how I flashed my DME and everything. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right here. And hope you guys liked it, and follow me on Instagram.